Okay, folks are going to get started. Okay. People spilling out into there's some seats for the folks in the foyer. We want to see if they can sit down. Maybe we've got a handful of seats. Starting to get to our maximum speed. Okay, we're going to get started. I'd like to call to order the Tuesday, September 17th, 2024 City Council of the City of San Juan Bautista's meeting. We could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I'll go ahead and lead. Ready? Begin. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Liz, can we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Freeman.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Jordan. Here. Councilmember Morris Lopez. Here. Councilmember Sabathia.
Here.
And Mayor Frios.
Here. Okay, we are gonna change things around a little bit. John wanted time for a few of the administrative reports or the reports out from the council since he's finishing up. So, John, you want to break out your cards?
Yes, I got them. Last week, the Integrated Waste Management Commission met. It's the JPA between, stands for Joint Powers Authority or Agreement, depending on who you talk to, between the county, the city of Hollister, and the city of San Juan Bautista. It oversees trash collection. We talked trash at that meeting, and the landfill and many other things having to do with the environment. So first of all, it was my last session as a president of that committee, which I've been president of for, I forget if it's 3 or 4 years in a row, but anyway, it's a while. We went over the budget. We owe them, I think about $3,000, and then they're going to pay us back through recology fees many times that. So, but because it's a JPA, we have to pay in. I just wanted to let everyone know that. We have a seat at the table. We have an equal seat with the county and with the city of Hollister, which is a really good thing. Okay. Next meeting with Central Coast Community Power. We met also last week on Wednesday. We chose a new board president, which is critical. It was Mayor Fred Keeley, who's mayor of Santa Cruz. Before that, he was in the state of, he had a vacation for a while. He was in the state assembly, pro tem and all that stuff. But he'll be a good president for 3CE because he knows all the people in Sacramento on who to call. The problems of 3CE are ones of a regulatory nature. Scott is right. Sometimes the state of California is not our friend, particularly the PUC, which causes lots of trouble. And for us, higher electrical rates. And the final meeting was not one that you guys know about yet, but I'll tell you, so last Monday night on the 9th, I went to my first meeting as a board member of the San Benito County Water District, and I voted to expand the West Hills Water Treatment Plant, which will give us a source of high quality drinking water, hopefully forever. Also included in that expansion was an implementation of something called ADROP, which is basically a underground aquifer where we're going to pump treated water from the West Hills treatment plant into the ground as storage for when we have droughts. And then we withdraw that water from the underground aquifer when we don't have the full allocation from the Central Valley Project. And that's it for me. Thank you. I'd like to thank everybody, all the citizens of San Juan Bautista. I tried the best I could make the city a little bit better. I hope I succeeded. Thank you.
Thank you, Don. John.
All of my meetings were canceled.
Okay. Did you have anything?
I went to the intergovernmental meeting and the topic once again is addressing our homeless individuals. And we are meeting next year. Good news. The meetings will now be held here in San Juan Bautista. I don't think it's working. Is it working?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, there you
Yeah.
go. Sorry. So I did go to the intergovernmental meeting last current month in December. The topic was addressing the homelessness issue in our county. The sheriff and the Hollister Police Chief presented a census report. Quite a few folks living down at the San Benito River. They're trying to get as many people into services that they can. There poses a threat, and Pro Tem Mayor Jordan pointed that out, that with the climate changing and rains coming, it really poses, some serious safety issues if they do not, if they are not removed. The meeting will now be held for the next year here in San Juan Bautista, which I think is really convenient and wonderful. So we'll be hosting that meeting.
Sorry. Thanks I forgot about that one. And the same meeting will be reiterated at our next intergovernmental meeting because the city of Hollister and the county, there was one board of supervisors there, but we'll go through the whole meeting again next month.
Yep. Okay. You have anything?
I missed a special CMAP meeting and then was not able to. I was out of contact for serving as backup for LAFCO.
Yesterday I attended a special COG meeting. Most of it was just year-end budget completion. And then the other boards, the four other boards or three other boards were just finishing off minutes. There will probably be a whole new group of people for COG. I did bring I forgot it, but Banu went over a list of the things that we accomplished just in last year, and it was pretty mind-blowing how much got done. I got a little choked up, to tell you the truth. It's probably one of the most successful years that COG's ever had in this county. So it was a really good year. And the nice part about our executive director for COG, Banu Abraham, she is extremely proactive. She's always thinking ahead, and she's 3 or 4 years ahead of everybody else. And she came to us from Sacramento COG. So we are, we're complicated as any other COG, but compared to what she came from, it's a lot smoother for her. And she's brought a really incredible professionalism to the point where all the COGs, we're completely staffed now, and they're moving the office from clear over in the Pinnacle buildings, those old buildings on the Pinnacle buildings, to downtown Hollister. So it'll be right in the middle of Hollister. So it's going to be great. There'll be great visual. If folks need to get bus tickets or get any information, they can just walk right in there. It's going to be really nice. Just a little history on the last rental, the last place they rented. Not sure who signed the contract for that rental, but things like leaking roofs and broken windows and thing, COG had to do all those repairs, which was really odd because it was a multi-office type building. So we're happy to get out of that building and happy to be into a new one. And the COG meetings will be able to, most of them will be able to be done at that building instead of relying on the county administrative offices. So that's pretty much all I have. Okay, certification of election results. Liz, do you want to take that one?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. So the election has concluded by the County of San Benito Register of Voters, and the election canvass was conducted, and the canvass has been completed. So before you is a resolution to approve the canvass for the November 5th, 2024 municipal election.
Okay. Questions? Anybody on the questions? Nope. Any questions or comments from the public on that one? This is an action item.
Yes. No speaker cards received and no hands raised on Zoom, Mayor.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve the canvas? Or the certificate?
So moved.
Second,
Could we have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Freeman,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Jordan,
Yes.
Councilmember Morris Lopez,
yes.
Councilmember Sabathia,
Yes.
Mayor Frios.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, thank you.
It's Linda.
Okay, we have one ceremonial item. This is a presentation of a plaque honoring retiring city council member John Freeman. We have our plaque. I'm gonna go grab it. Okay.
Wait, what?
Yes.
Are
And yeah,
you gonna make it back in time?
and with Liz leaving, AJ is gonna lead us in Christmas carols. Come on.
There's a song for that.
How about them Cowboys?
They won.
Where did he go? Where'd he go? Fuck, he left.
No, Saquon left.
Oh, Saquon left.
Saquon left New York.
Sorry. Thank you. I mix up my Penn State players.
They're walking on the field. I watch him. I'm a Bucks fan.
Since Tom Brady.
Since
I might break it. Ooh.
Can we do a formal presentation?
Mhm.
Here you go.
Want to close that out, John? Please.
Can you, yeah, is there an inscription and everything?
Two pieces, so I'm worried about dropping it.
Mm.
Just a thank you for your many years of dedicated service to the community. So I appreciate that greatly, more than you can appreciate. So, there are more cards.
But wait, there's more.
Okay. I'll just sit. When I was elected 8 years ago, I did have a set of goals that included roads, water, and governmental transparency, which I thought at that time in the city were missing in spades. I think I've helped the city meet most of those goals. There's many others that the city needs to strive for and accomplish, but I feel that those three are really big, and I feel proud to be a small part of it. Thank you.
Anybody want to say anything to him or just?
See you later. No.
Yeah.
John, I appreciate the conversations that we have had with water and wastewater and working with you. My past 6 years on the council have been really good. I appreciate what you have brought to the council. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, John. And you started when you were like 30, right? So, thank you for the conversation. We may not have always agreed, but respectfully, I think we had good discussions, and you're San Juaner now.
Thank you.
I when my- oh yes, when my wife and I first moved to San Juan and we're reading all through the Facebook groups and reaching out to people to talk to about the town and try to get ourselves integrated into the community. John was one of the first people that responded back, and we sat and had you and I some conversations, you and Michelle a bunch of conversations, and um consistent and genuine from that first response all the way through all the years, and I've appreciated it.
Thank you.
Yeah, what EJ just said, I appreciate your your mentorship. And I appreciate your steadfastness, and you stuck to your guns the whole time. You didn't waver, and that's huge. That's those kind of ethics are hard to find. 8 years, and just for all of you in the room, we do this for free. So John was a city council member for the last 8 years, and he attended numerous boards and sessions and was on multiple of our boards. And I appreciate your time. Thank you, John. Well, I don't know. Should we? I see they've got some eggs out there. Just get down. Okay. Yep. Next, we're gonna do. You want to do the ceremony? Okay. Yeah. Yep.
You get to sit there until. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh. Okay. I read it. Yeah. Scoot by the red button. No, seriously, go that way. And then, yep, and you scoot around. There you go.
That's perfect.
I'll put some Christmas candy in it.
Please repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Scott Reed,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear.
to support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State. That I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. And I will well and faithfully discharge the duties
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little warm. Yeah. Wouldn't take long with all these folks in here. Well, they're sweating. Okay, I'm reading Liz's cheat notes here. It says, at this time, newly elected council members shall be seated. There we are. Sure. We were doing, yeah. Yeah. Got this right now. All right, number 6. Our next agenda item is the consideration of the selection of mayor for a 1-year term. And we open the floor for nominations.
I nominate Pro Tem Mayor Leslie Jordan for the position of mayor of the city of San Juan Bautista for 2025.
I'll second it.
Okay, I was hoping, let's see, Liz, how can we do this? Because should we do each one at a time? Because I was going to nominate EJ for. Okay. Okay, so do you want to do a roll call on it then?
Yes.
Okay.
Councilmember Aranda,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Jordan,
Yes.
Councilmember Morris Lopez,
Yes.
Councilmember Sabathia,
No.
Mayor Frios.
No.
Motion carried.
And then I would like to see if, Mayor, if I could, make a motion.
Hold on a minute. I'm not the mayor.
Oh,
She is.
sorry. Of course.
Here's your cheat sheet right there.
I did not expect this.
Yeah. What? Different?
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Need to move this.
No, it's.
What is that? Okay. I'm nervous. I have a cheat sheet.
This is, sorry. Okay, a selection of Mayor Pro Tem for a 1-year term. I'm opening the floor to nominations.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to, nominate EJ, Sabathia as, Mayor Pro Tem. Seeing that we're following that order. So I would love to see him as mayor next year. So I would love to nominate him.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Can I have a roll call on that, please? Motion made by Councilmember Aranda, seconded by Councilmember Friels.
Councilmember Aranda,
Yes.
Councilmember Frios,
Yes.
Councilmember Morris Lopez,
No.
Councilmember Sabathia,
Yes.
Mayor Jordan.
No,
Motion carried.
thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Mayor, permission to speak?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to address the comment by newly seated Councilmember Aranda. We currently do not follow that process of rotating the mayor if you're pro tem to the next year being mayor. I believe we left that that behind a few years ago. So unless we bring it up as a action item or discussion, that right now is not on the table of how the process goes, just for
I have to
transparency.
totally disagree with that. That was never an action item or discussion or a change in any type of city municipal code 4 or 5 years ago. That's not true.
Thank you. Presentations, CSUMB, welcome. There'll be a presentation on sustainable city, on a sustainable program.
Thank you. Well, it's been quite a civics lesson for my students here today.
We didn't do it officially. That's just.
Okay, yes. So hello, everybody. My name is Daniel Fernandez, and I'm a faculty member at California State University, Monterey Bay. And I run a program at the university called the Sustainable City Year Program. And before I go into that, I want to give you a little bit of history. Next slide. Can I advance?
Sorry, we're just regrouping here.
It's okay. I actually have a history here. My wedding reception was here in 1991. So I wanted to share that with all of you. So I have a long history here, longer ago than most of my students are old, but just down the street. So this city means a lot to me. So I'm really thrilled that we have the opportunity to help the city become even greater than it already is. And it's great. So I love this place. So next slide, please. I started a program at CSU Monterey Bay where classes across our campus partner with regional municipalities like the city of San Juan Bautista, where we actually arrange a contract and classes do projects that are of relevance to the city that the city would have trouble doing given limited resources of any city or municipality. So the idea is to leverage the enthusiasm, the talent, the skills, and the education of our students so that they can help promote the city's sustainability agenda and goals. And I have quite a few logos up there, as you can see. The ones of interest, the Sustainable City Year Program, upper left, you can go to that website if you want to see more about it, including a previous partnership with San Juan Bautista in 2019. And lower right is the international network of this type of arrangement. So I'm not the only university, I'm not representing the only university that does it. Universities throughout the world do this. Next slide, please. And all of the students that you're going to see presenting today are going to be talking about improvements and things that will hopefully help the city of San Juan Bautista, focusing on Lang Street Park with one student working on explaining water rates, which I know have been a big issue in the city. And so they've all done excellent work, and they're going to be presenting their results in a more extended format this Friday. You're all welcome to attend. It's at the CSU Monterey Bay campus, our library, room 1188. There's a link there if this can be distributed, this PowerPoint slide. You don't have to RSVP, but you could. But you can show up there, and if that doesn't work for you to be there in person, you can actually watch it on Zoom. So if you want to see more of this, of what you're going to hear in the next few minutes, I wanted to let you know about that. And with that, I think next slide, please. I'm going to move to the first group that's going to be presenting. You're going to hear from 5 groups in the next 18 minutes. So they're going to be very effective. So next slide, please. And I'll introduce the first group. There you go.
Hello, everyone. I just want to say thank you for being here, and also just taking on this project has been so much fun to be able to get to know the community and come across to many previous mayors and just getting to know the community for who you guys are. I have a love for San Juan Bautista after this, and we're just going to present what we were able to collect with our community engagement. So Our goal was to bridge the gap between community feedback and the development process of the park. It was purchased 27 years ago, as you know, and there has been no forward-going development of the park due to limited resources or no funding. So we just wanted to compile all this information to give to the city and the community to be able to move forth with this, because we do understand some of the drawbacks with the development. And so we decided to partner with Caitlin Brady. She's the head of the recreation department, as you know, in hopes to add significant value to the development of this park. So using sustainable infrastructure models. So community engagement matters because many sustainable infrastructure initiatives still adhere to a top-down expert-driven process in its site selection and design. And sustainable infrastructure can be affected by outdated approaches like this. Because these approaches often miss out on opportunities to include civic feedback, lacking the inclusion of diverse voices in planning, design, and implementation. If you could click it again, please. So we decided to take the approach of leading with the community and gaining that feedback of what they needed in order to add it to the design process. And our methods for doing this were driven by relationship building and understanding San Juan Bautista first. We were here for about 4 weeks getting to know people before we started kind of bouncing off of the 2018 survey and developing our own. Our community outreach methods involved partnering with 2 out of 3 of the schools to get the children's feedback, general surveys posted around town, Wednesday bingo luncheon activities, which we were able to go to regularly, and residential interviews where we knocked door to door to give people the opportunity to talk to us face to face or to be able to give us their feedback digitally or handwritten. Out of the 4 weeks, we received 72 responses from the public and 86 students from the schools. So we were able to compile that information. And just to remind or bring up some context, in 2018, 650 surveys were given out to San Juan Bautista residents with an 11% response rate, sharing that the main park feature that was requested was actually space for vegetation and planting areas. And then the other priorities were trails, sitting areas, children's play areas, and picnic and barbecue areas. Our feedback highlighted the immense need for an enclosed dog area, separating small dogs and large dogs, understanding that there isn't an area that's delegated for that activity. Walking trails, sustainable development, native plant gardens, and historical elements that reflect the community's vision. The school drawings were really cute and further emphasized the importance for active play areas and natural spaces, fostering a relationship, or areas for them to foster relationships amongst their peers. And so throughout community engagement, we came across a local resident who helped us a lot and was invaluable for our progress in this project, and his name was Harvey Mendez. He is a local resident. He is also a retired architect, and we were able to take a plan that kind of landed in our lap when we were knocking door to door and just align it with the feedback that we had gotten. Do you mind going to the next one, please? So right here was the feedback that I kind of already spoke about. The walking trail was number 1. Recreation field and fenced-in dog park were equal. And then the children's playground was the 4th thing. And then if you can go to the next one, please. This is the design that we ended with after we were able to speak to him about some of the feedback that we got. And we were able to incorporate the fenced-in dog areas, the walking trail, the restrooms, the historical signage areas, the native plants, which we'll hear about in a little bit. And although this is not the design that our team is presenting, it still is a great visualization that shows in alignment with the community feedback. This project was a lot of fun as we just kind of, as we went along, we were building on the process, from not doing this ever before to then getting a plan in our hands. We were very excited about that. So with enthusiasm, we hope to give this information that our whole team has collected and give it to the city hall or any of the community members that would want to push this forward. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Don't go away. Do we have another presentation?
We have a couple
okay.
of them.
Sorry.
So I think,
Thanks.
yes, restoration is going to be the next one.
Hi, guys. Thank you for having us here today. May we please move on to the slide? Thank you. Firstly, we'll introduce ourselves. We're representing the restoration group. My name is Michaela Wheeler.
My name is Elsa Faber.
Thank you. Welcome. Sorry, can you speak closer to the microphone? Thanks.
Of course.
Zoom can't hear.
No, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
We have some of our, some people on Zoom that are interested in our presentation as well. To jump right into it, we have a condensed version of some of our research that we did. We mainly focused on restoration practices and how they can be implemented into park development, specifically sustainable practices. So right here, we were able to dive into your guys' final impact report, which taught us more about the native plant species that you guys have to the area, the animals, the overall ecosystem. And it was a good reference for us because we were able to recommend plants, create a new list based off the one that was in this report. And then we learned more about the San Benito evening primrose, which is endemic to San Benito County. So we felt like that would be a great implementation to this park because it represents their cultural ties, which we'll go into more a little further. May you please move on to the next slide? You might have mentioned our collaboration with Harvey Mendez, where we were able to work on this park plan. And we have some examples of the native plants we recommended. Not only did we recommend native plants suitable for the Lang Park, but we also recommended plants that represented cultural heritage that are tied to the Amamutsan tribal, the Amamutsan land trust that resided in this area. We found that plants like manzanita, black sage, even the San Benito primrose, they all have this cultural connection to the area. We felt like based on your guys' native plant garden, which the Amamutsan had collaborated with state parks, we were like, and based on the surveys from our engagement group, that the community would love the native plants over traditional landscaping plants, and especially the ecosystem services that plants offer, such as stronger soil stability. They provide a habitat for animals, and they attract pollinators, overall give back to the area, and they provide for wildflowers, and they're adjusted to the climate already. Like California native plants are adjusted to wildfires and contribute to the overall nutrition of the soil. And then this was just, we had these plans because we picked plants that we thought would do well and were all community and dog safe. We did have some other restorative practices we'd like to share with you guys. So maybe please move forward to the next slide. Oh, in addition to this, we have some partnerships with Epic Total Water Solutions. Thomas and Jonas are actually on the Zoom with us. In addition to these native plants, we think you guys should partner with this company because they managed to patent this technology where they're able to capture stormwater and retain it so it can be used for the establishment of plants. This water, you guys are able to use less water because it's going to be stored. And we did learn that this location has some low points, like say underneath the dog park or near the sloted areas is where we could capture this water, and it would require minimal maintenance. They were able to work on many projects all throughout California, and they were able to save schools, private businesses a lot of money, and we feel like that would be a really good partnership with your guys' city in the future. And then in addition to this, we had some other solutions as well. And then that was all for this slide.
So yeah, we didn't only focus on native plants, but we wanted to continue going forward to the parking lot. And that's where we propose using gravel instead of traditional asphalt, because this allows for water to filter through. And that's also where the Epic solutions can also be implemented underneath this parking lot to recycle that water that will be collected and even slightly filtered throughout the surrounding landscape and specifically the native plants. This material also helps mitigate the heat that, I know that San Juan Bautista can sometimes face during the hot and dry summers. So we just felt like this would be a great addition that we felt like is often overlooked. And then next slide, please. Yeah, so just to kind of conclude and kind of reiterate some things that we were focused on is we just wanted to really incorporate the natural ecosystem and promote an eco-friendly and sustainable design that also fosters community space and a welcoming a welcoming place for community members, visitors, wildlife, and especially pollinators, while also offering educational opportunities on the importance of native plants along with historical uses of the plants by the Amamutsin tribal band. And that's pretty much all that we have from the restoration group. And we just want to thank you again for being here and listening.
We have a few thanks we'd like to make, like especially Dan Fernandez, our professor, Harvey Mendez that collaborated with us with this park design, and then Jonas and Thomas from Epic Solutions. And most importantly, you guys for letting us present here today. That is going to be all for our group. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. Just to introduce myself, I'm representing the design team for this. My name is Juliana Porter, and my team members, Chase and Ashley, are both here today. And so I kind of wanted to explain some of our group's values that we incorporated throughout this process that we thought were really important. So our first one is sustainability. It is all of our majors. So we did utilize knowledge that we've learned throughout our degree, as well as ideas from class members and involvement of professional organizations as well. And then it's one of our core beliefs as well that we should make this park as accessible as possible. And so we included a lot of ADA features to make sure that people from all walks of life could go to this park and feel at home in a way. And then our last one was community engagement. So we incorporated a lot of ideas from the survey results that went out to residents and resident feedback, as well as incorporating some comments from resident members that we were able to meet at our pop-up event. And could we go to the next slide, please? So yeah, just to give a little bit more background, we've reached out to quite a few local municipalities to make meetings and get some of their professional advice and expertise when it came to park building and park management, as well to get additional features in mind. And some of those people were Santa Clara recreation managers, the recreation manager of Monterey, and Epic Total Water Solutions, who is joining us over Zoom today. And could we go to the next slide, please? So this is the design that we were able to create. And I want to just point out some of the key features with this is we have paved walking trails that are a bit wider to account for ADA accessibility. So they're 5 feet wide. We also incorporated natural landscape features such as native plants throughout the park and along the walking trails. We also provided a 2-lane entryway with stop signs into the parking lot. And we intend for all of this to be gravel except for the 2 closest parking spots, which are the disabled parking. So we want to pave those 2 lots and have that leading to the ramp that goes up to the walking trails. We also created a very spacious large dog park and small dog park with a double gate entry as an added safety feature. And we provided space for an accessible playground and a soccer field / recreation area that could be used for a variety of purposes by local residents. And then, yeah, some other features are park benches, seating areas, and bathrooms. And also, we want to incorporate dual water fountains that will be used for both humans and dogs. And then if you move to the next slide, please. We also provided a cost analysis as an added feature that we thought might help out the city. So these are estimated cost of some of the major features of the park. So the inclusive playground could cost as low as $150,000 or up to $500,000. The restrooms are going to be from $80,000 to $100,000. The fencing for the dog park is actually going to be, we changed the slide a little bit, but it'll be $100,000 to $200,000. And then we provide more of a breakdown in the paper that we could send over to you guys at the end of the week. And that's it for our group. I wanted to thank all of our collaborators and everybody here for letting us present and listening to us. And I wanted to thank Caitlin as well for partnering us and making this all possible. So thank you for your time.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Hello. Hi, my name is Hannah Jonke,
My name is Meg Castanian.
and we're representing the policy group for this park project. And we first wanted to start with the recommendations and where we got our references from city-wise.
So yeah, the new park does call for new policies to help structure it, and we looked at 6 different cities across California to help draw examples from. We looked at 2 cities with similar geography and size to San Juan Bautista, 2 larger cities near San Juan Bautista, and then 2 more cities from Northern and Southern California. Next slide, please. Yeah, here are the policies we decided to focus on. There was hours of use, alcohol use, vandalism, and dog, specifically the dog part aspect. For hours of use, we chose to look at Santa Rosa and Gilroy because they had good structured hours that could be changed for special events. Alcohol use, all of the cities had good recommendations that you needed a permit to have alcohol on the premises, and then Gilroy had specific policies keeping glass bottles away from play structures. Vandalism, King City and Gilroy had good policies protecting man-made and natural structures in the park. And then for dogs, Hollister was the only one that had dog park policies. And those were specific policies such as only a max of 3 dogs, having identification and no food in the dog area.
Next slide, please. So there are more policies that are necessary for this park to be made possible, and we wanted to point those out. The California Environmental Quality Act and the EIR are pretty mandatory for creating any park project in California. We thought we would add leave no trace and wildlife conservation because it aligns with the values of the community. And overall, for this park, it would be very necessary to have safety measures, ADA accessibility, and waste management included in the policy of the park. But overall, we just couldn't focus on every single one within the scope of our time frame for working on this project. Next slide, please. So we also wanted to recommend some grants because the community engagement group noticed that a big part of the park not being in existence right now is the funding aspect. And so we have the T-Mobile Hometown Grant, which was recommended to us by Caitlin Brady. And a maximum award would be $50,000. The Reach by San Benito County is a good opportunity for creating park projects in San Benito County. And because this is a part of San Benito County, we thought it would be a good resource to look into. And then the 2 on the bottom, the USDA Community Facilities and Direct Loan and Grant Program is a good grant. It's pretty specific, but it has some aspects that we are eligible for the park in general. And then the Oak Woodland Conservation Grant is a possible one that we could look into in terms of funding a Oak Woodland conservation area, which would be applicable to this area of San Benito County. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Elizabeth, also a student, and I was given the opportunity to work under Don Reynolds, city manager, to effectively communicate San Juan Bautista's partnership with Hollister's wastewater treatment and constructing a 6-mile pipeline that connects both cities. The purpose of this project is to receive, sanitize, and send back reliable, clean water to its residents. And in order to better understand the motive behind this project, I decided to go check out the main water source that this city has, where I learned that the main water supply comes from two wells, well number 1 and well number 5. Well number 1 has a depth of 128 feet, and well number 5 has a depth of 600 feet. Unfortunately, well number 1 does have a history of being shut down due to droughts and is also prone to microbiological contamination, therefore making well number 5 the backbone of the city's water supply, so it's heavily relied on for water. I also have well number 6 up here because it was first introduced as a way to also help with the water supply. However, as you may know, it was shut down in 2019 due to its extremely high nitrate levels. I was able to speak to some residents, and they expressed some confusion on other alternatives that this project could have gone around. Next slide, please. So in order to address the issue with the ongoing wastewater treatment plant, 3 options were further explored. Option 1 and 2 were considered in upgrading the existing wastewater treatment plant, which would cost between $20 to $24 million. Whereas the third alternative, which is the one that's going on now, is to send water to Hollister's treatment plant to avoid the need to upgrade the current plant. Nick, can you click it again, please? So as you can see here, even though the numbers may seem larger, it's more suitable based on the criteria such as cost, environmental impact, operational ease, reliability, and future regulatory compliance, therefore scoring the highest out of the other 2 alternative options that were given. Next slide, please. So the project is designed to improve the water quality in San Juan Bautista. It will reduce the hardness of the groundwater and step away from the reliance of water softeners. And as you can see here, construction is already being built because this project is in progress. So they are removing the old rusty materials, and they are in the far bottom right side. They're basically using newer materials so that they can construct this. Next slide, please. And then this is actually like a condensed version of what is found in a lot of these old pipes. This is a buildup of rust and minerals in the old pipes from the first original pipeline. So after this, I was, next slide, please. So after talking to some residents and like looking more into deep and taking in consideration their financial concerns, I was able to narrow down 3 main points and find some feedback that I can give back to you guys. The first is having easier access to public documents. So I believe that like a easier cleaned up version of the website where people can access the documents of the project and its process, as well as city council reports and all that. Direct links would be very much helpful, as well as a short little summary of what those documents are going to be about, just so that they have an idea before they start reading it. The second one is to enhance public knowledge on water conservation techniques. I think an easy way to do this is by creating pamphlets or even just a QR code that could be mailed with the monthly water bills, so that these people have a way to practice water sustainability on their own, which would help them because it will allow them to use less water and therefore minimize their water bills, as well as public outreach. So even if it's just an informational table where residents can approach anyone that has information on this, I believe that that will like release some ease or stress that they have on what's going on, their water bills, and just any updates on what the project or even other future projects will be about. And the third one would be a more promotion on the free water leak inspections. When I did approach some of these people, I was surprised to know that a few of them actually didn't know about this resource that is available. And others did know, but they just forgot about it because it was like deep behind their mind, so they didn't know. So a better promotion of this would also be better, just because it could relieve financial stress off of them, knowing that they've done everything they can to conserve water, but like their water bill's still really high. So knowing that it was caused by a leak, I feel like that's an easy fix. So I wanted to say thank you. And before I step away, I did create an example of a pamphlet that you guys can use around.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so the pamphlet, it doesn't have to be exactly that way, but I think it could be a blueprint of what could potentially be sent to residents just so that they can have an understanding of how to conserve water and how conserving water will help not only them financially, but also the planet as well. Thank you, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you very much for those reports. Questions, comments, concerns from council? Councilmember Aranda, welcome. Start us off.
Thanks. I'm really impressed with the report, to be honest. It actually has opened up my eyes and has given me some ideas here. Everything looks really great. I'm thankful that you guys got in contact with Harvey Mendez. He is a really good little architect, and I did get to see those plans at our senior citizen center, which was really amazing. So I look forward to hopefully building something out in that park and taking some of these ideas and bringing them to life.
Thank you. Councilmember Friels?
Just thank you for the reports. Appreciate it.
Councilmember Morris Lopez?
Yes, thank you for the reports. I had a question. You talked about community engagement. How did that take place with your groups?
So we had various different types of engagement. We focused on relationship building at first. So we actually had Ben go to the senior bingo lunches every Wednesday. So you got to meet a lot of the community there. And he built a lot of relationships, and that's how we met Harvey. Other things, we engaged with the schools as well. We partnered with Anzar High School and Aromas Elementary and had them send out, it was basically like a picture questionnaire, just asking students to draw their favorite memory of a park. So then we can analyze those and figure out what aspects are we seeing the most and what would be most helpful in the design in that part. So I hope that answered the question.
A little. Did you
Oh,
have
one more.
bilingual staff that reached out to non-English speaking, Spanish speaking citizens or residents?
Yeah, so we did actually put that in our report that that was something that needs to go back and be addressed as well, because we did have a Spanish survey, but we connected the wrong QR code to the Spanish survey. And then we came back for Spanish speaking residents, and because we don't speak Spanish, that was a big issue. And so that was actually something in our report for future that needs to be taken into an account as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Sabathia? Oh, Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia?
Ooh.
That's a big word.
I thank you. I just wanted to compliment all of your presentation and public speaking skills. Kudos.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, we had a great time getting to know the community and being at those bingo luncheons at Casa Maria. It was so fun to get to talk to all those people and hear their stories of the town and really try and get an understanding of you guys and to try and learn more about your little town. And it's amazing. It's a really special place. So thanks so much for letting us come here and speak. We really appreciate you guys.
Thank you very much. You are welcome to lunches every Wednesday.
Oh, thank
Thank you all.
again.
Thanks. We really
Thank you
appreciate
so
everything
much.
you've done. Thank you. Do we have any speaker cards in chambers?
Yes, we do. John Hopper?
Taking longer to get up there than I wanted to thank the CSUMB group for their presentation, their work on this. They mentioned that something like 30 years has passed with nothing being done with that parkland. I was on the city council at the time we acquired it. In fact, myself personally and a couple of council members came under kind of public scrutiny because it was felt we didn't do it with a lot of transparency. Unfortunately, we had to go into closed session to purchase that land because it was being sold at public auction. And the city attorney at the time advised us that should someone in the public, a developer or what have you, learn that the city was interested in that land,
the price could be escalated greatly. So we purchased that land, I guess it's 27, I thought it was 30 something years ago, on the steps of the courthouse. It's been frustrating for me not to see anything done. There's been several false starts. So the message I just wanted to send to you, particularly as a new year, new council, and having some working bodies to participate in this is, you know, get it done. I mean, 30 years, I really thought the day that we bought that land, that within 5 years, we would have something done there, even if it was on a minor scale. So that's my only comment. I just want to challenge you and encourage you to move forward with this. Thank you.
Thank you. It's our first meeting. Any other speaker cards?
No speaker cards, but we do
Anybody
have
on Zoom?
somebody on Zoom.
Hi, this is Thomas checking audio.
Hi, welcome.
Hi, I just wanted to congratulate those students and a great presentation. My name is Thomas Shapila with Epic Total Water Solutions, and I did help coordinate some of the efforts with them after meeting Daniel at the Green Infrastructure Conference down in Carmel by the Sea about 6 weeks ago. I just wanted to add just another insight to the potential design for the park of its potential for complete sustainability without the need for the additional infrastructure for irrigation provided by the city. No need to drill an additional well or tap off well number 5. No need for a connection to the city water supply for irrigation of all the landscape. With our designs that we feel we can coordinate with the city staff, and we'd be happy to do a future presentation to show you greater details and work further with the students in the community. But there is already existing projects in California for more than 20 years that are sustainable from precipitation and intercept of that precipitation, you know, from the parking areas, from pathways, and being able to put that into subsurface storage that could be underneath, you know, play areas or a dog park. And these types of sustainable systems are completely, you know, self-sufficient for precipitation management. It's just a different way of looking at you know, irrigation of plants. You know, no sprinklers, no drip. It's just a mimic of nature where we turn the umbrella upside down. So I just kind of wanted to enunciate that sustainable possibilities for the community there, and also how it can be built in segments. You know, help with the infrastructure, you know, lowering water costs, but also you can be able to build and add to it as needed, as budget dictates. So just, you wanted to add those additional comments, and then congratulations again to the students. Great presentation.
Thank you. Thank you all once again. We appreciate you. Thanks for hanging out in the back. Awesome. Next is a review of the Code of Ethics. Attorney Giffen.
Yes, thank you, Mayor, and Mayor Pro Tem, members of the City Council. I was asked to review the Code of Ethics, which was approved by the City Council in 2018. The Code of Ethics governs local public officials, among others in city government. And with the election, new election of Jose Aranda as a city council member and the turn of the calendar of the new year, I was asked to review each of the tenets of the Code of Ethics. There are 18 of them, and I won't prolong this, but I will read through the Code of Ethics and briefly, and just remind the city council and those who are governed by it of the terms of the Code of Ethics. So I'm going to actually read the preamble because it's important to have a context or understanding, I think, from the start. And then I'll just briefly review each of the 18 different requirements. So the preamble reads, "The citizens and businesses of San Juan Bautista are entitled to have fair, ethical, and transparent local government, which has earned the public's full confidence for integrity. In keeping with the city of San Juan Bautista's commitment to excellence, the effective functioning of democratic government therefore requires that public officials, both elected and appointed, will comply with the letter and spirit of the laws and policies affecting the operations of government. Public officials shall be independent, impartial, fair, and transparent in their judgment and actions. Public office shall be used for public good and not for personal gain. Public deliberations and processes shall be conducted openly unless legally confidential in an atmosphere of respect and civility. This code of ethics, as adopted by the San Juan Bautista City Council, applies to members of the city council and the city's boards and commissions to assure public confidence in the integrity of local government and its effective and fair operation. There are the 18 different points, and the first one is it requires that the members act in the public interest. Members will work for the public interest of San Juan Bautista and not for any private or personal interest. And the members will assure fair and equal treatment of all persons, claims, and transactions coming before the city council. Number two, you're required to comply with the law. Members are required to comply with the law of the federal government, state of California, and the city of San Juan Bautista in the performance of their public duties. Number three, the conduct of members. That is, the professional and personal conduct of members must be above reproach and avoid even the appearance of impropriety in all public situations regarding city business. Number four, respect for process. Members shall perform their duties in accordance with the processes and rules of order established by the city council, the boards and commissions governing the deliberation of public policy issues, meaningful involvement of the public and implementation of policy decisions of the city council by staff. Number five, conduct of public meetings. Members shall prepare themselves for public issues, listen courteously and attentively to all public discussions before the body, and focus on the business at hand. Number six, decisions based on merit. Members shall base their decisions on the merits and substance of the matter at hand rather than on unrelated considerations. Number seven, communication. Members shall publicly share substantive information that is relevant to a matter under consideration, which they may have received from sources outside of the public decision-making process. Number eight, conflict of interest. In order to assure their independence and impartiality on behalf of the common good, members shall not use their official positions to influence government decisions in which they have a material financial interest or where they have an organizational responsibility or personal relationship which may give the appearance of a conflict of interest. Number nine, gifts and favors. Members shall refrain from accepting any gifts, favors, or promises of future benefits which might compromise their independence of judgment or action or give the appearance of being compromised. Number 10, confidential information. Members shall respect the confidentiality of information concerning property, personnel, or affairs of the city. Number 11, use of public resources. Members shall not use public resources unavailable to the public in general, such as city staff time, equipment, supplies, or facilities for private gain or personal purposes. Number 12, representation of public interests. In keeping with their role as stewards of the public interest, members shall not appear on behalf of the private interests of third parties before the council or any board or commission or proceeding of the city, nor shall members of boards and commissions appear before the body or before the council on behalf of the private interest of third parties on matters related to areas of service of the body. Number 13, advocacy. Members shall represent the official policies or positions of the city council, board, or commission to the best of their ability when designated as delegates for this purpose. Number 14, policy role of members. Members shall respect and adhere to the council manager structure of the San Juan Bautista city government as outlined by the San Juan Bautista Municipal Code. Number 15, independence of boards and commissions. Because of the value of the independent advice of boards and commissions to the public decision-making process, members of council shall refrain from using their position to unduly influence the deliberations or outcomes of board and commission proceedings. Number 16, positive workplace environment. Members shall support the maintenance of a positive and constructive workplace for the city employees and for the citizens and businesses dealing within the city. Number 17, implementation. The San Juan Bautista Code of Ethics is intended to be self-enforcing and is an expression of standards of conduct for members expected by the city. It therefore becomes most effective when members are thoroughly familiar with it and embrace its provisions. For this reason, ethical standards shall be included in the regular orientations for candidates for city council, applicants to boards and commissions, and newly elected and appointed officials. Members entering office shall sign a statement affirming that they have read and understand the City of San Juan Bautista Code of Ethics. The Code of Ethics shall be renewed annually by the City Council, boards, and commissions, and the City Council shall consider recommendations from boards and commissions and update as necessary. And finally, number 18, compliance and enforcement. The board's chairs, commission chairs, and the mayor have the additional responsibility to intervene when actions of members that appear to be in violation of the Code of Ethics are brought to their attention. The City Council may impose sanctions on members whose conduct does not comply with the city's ethical standards, such as reprimand, formal censure, loss of seniority or committee assignment, or budget restriction. Under the city's municipal code, the City Council may also remove members of boards and commissions from office. A violation of this code of ethics shall not be considered as a basis for challenging the validity of a council, board, or commission decision. And that summarizes my code of ethics. And that is all I have for tonight.
Thank you. Questions from the council? Councilmember Aranda?
No questions. Thank you for that refresher.
Councilmember Friels?
No questions. Thank you for the refresher. The same.
Thank you. Councilmember Morris Lopez?
Will we be signing off on the annual recognition of the Code of Ethics? I heard you say annually. Is that just?
That is what the Code of Ethics calls for. So yes, you will
So-
be signing off on the
So
Code
we'll
of
be
Ethics.
provided with that hopefully next month. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia?
No comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. None from me as well. Thank you very much. Questions from chambers?
We have one speaker card. Rochelle.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I'm speaking tonight in my capacity as a personal, or as a resident from personal experience. Last time I spoke on this similar matter, I stayed silent because I realized that I wear two hats at a minimum in this city, and one being resident, one being staff. But tonight, as my speaker card shows, I'm filling it out as a personal private resident. I had a dispute with a former member subject to the Code of Ethics. It was always a residential civil matter. It was never intended to be part of the city, and should not have been. But that member often sent text messages to my boss, and I can feel my heartbeat right now.
Just relax, take a
It's,
breath.
That hasn't been happening as often, but the harassment does continue. I'm not able to enjoy my private property in the front yard. I have to remain in the backyard. When I come and go from my property, I'm subject to verbal threats and gestures from this person. It has been very emotional. It's been 2.5 years that I've had to deal with this as a private resident. It has not impacted my job. I have done all that I should have. The hostilities, like I said, as recently as this month, there has been yelling through the security cameras at my family members. There's been gestures directed directly at me as I was leaving my personal property. And when I came before, those feelings and those experiences were discounted as not being something that is under your purview. And I think it very much is, because at that time, the person was wanting to represent the city, and the way that they were representing themselves, I didn't feel it was appropriate. And I know people are capable of change. I have changed greatly. I've become a victim of abuse and a battered person, unable to function sometimes because it is so unnerving. So thank you very much for your time. I apologize for taking so much of it.
Thank you. Any other comments from speaker cards? Anybody on Zoom?
Seeing no hands raised.
Thank you. We are moving now to public comment. Do we have any speaker cards on topics that are not on the agenda?
Yes, we have 3 speaker cards. Jill.
I go around.
Good
Hi,
evening,
welcome.
Mayor and City Council. I'm here tonight to give you our first Placer AI update on visitors. So I focused just on the parade, the December 7th parade. 2,200 people came to town and participated. They stayed an average of 77 minutes. Average income was 103,000 per household. 34% had bachelor degrees and 51% Hispanics. So it was a good turnout. We have an actual count. We can tell you by the hour how many people were here, how long they stayed, and what time they left town. So I have more information. You guys can ask me about it later. Prior to that, the 2 weeks before, starting November 30th, we started running a 30-second spot commercials. We ran 58 segments so that when we did, this was the first time we had ever done them in Spanish on the Spanish channel. So we had those. So for that week, we had a total of 5,000 visitors. Average person stayed 55 minutes. And I can give you the breakdown at a later time, but a lot came to town about noon and stayed between 29 to 41 minutes. So we had a lot of lunches. So anyway, just wanted to let you know we do have a mechanism for counting people now, how many are in town, how long they're staying, what they're doing. And we can do the deep dive into this and find out where they spent their money and how much they spent. But this was just relatively new program, so that we're just kind of getting acquainted with it. Only had 1 training. So thank you.
Nice. Thank you very much.
David Medeiros.
Good
Hi,
evening.
welcome.
Thank you. My name is David Medeiros. I live in 1026 First Street. I don't know if you've heard, but I made an announcement last time we met with the Planning Commission and with the Historic Resources Board. I announced that I will no longer be providing that service to the city starting the 1st of January this year. I'm stepping away and resigning from or retiring from my position as a planning commissioner and as a historical resource board member for the city of San Juan Bautista. That being said, I want to thank everybody for all the people here at San Juan Bautista for allowing me to be of service to them and to all the planning city council members that I've worked with over the years and planning commission and also board members. So thank you for all that. I can't begin to express what I've experienced in that time frame or what I've done in all those years. But I guess just saying thank you for allowing me to do this over the years. And Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy New Year. And by the way, I'm not sick. I'm okay. My family's okay. I became a great grandfather just 4 months ago. So we're all doing well. Not going anywhere. I'm not selling any property or anything like that. I'll be around and you might see me around more often than you think. Thank you again.
Thank you very much. And thank you for your service.
Lori Tankersley.
Okay, good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Lori Tankersley. I'm here on behalf of San Benito County's Integrated Waste Management, just to give a couple updates on our programs. As a reminder, residential fluorescents, paints, full yard and household chemical cleaners, household batteries, used motor oil and filters, and more are accepted at our monthly household hazardous waste event at John Smith Landfill. This occurs every third Saturday from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Our next monthly event will be this Saturday, December 21st. For more information on acceptable material, residents can visit our website at www.sanbenitocountyca.gov/HHW. Residents with Recology Services will be receiving our 2025 events flyer this month. That'll have our list for IWM and Recology's events for the year. But you can follow us on Instagram and Facebook at San Benito County Integrated Waste Management, or SBCIWM, to get updates on upcoming events and programs. And I understand that all of the official stuff is over, but lastly, on behalf of IWM, we would like to thank John Freeman for his years of service on the on the San Juan Bautista City Council, as well as on the Integrated Waste Management Local Task Force. He was serving as the committee chair for 4 years. While we look forward to working with the city's newly appointed representative member next year, we will miss you, Councilmember Freeman. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak, and I will see you guys next year.
Thank you very much.
Elias Salinas.
Thank
Hi,
you.
welcome.
Thank you. It's been a while. I'm going to start coming back. First of all, I'm going to start off with thanking former Councilman John Freeman for his dedication to San Juan Bautista, his love for this community, for his advocacy for getting San Juan Bautista hooked up to City Hollister. It was needed, and it was a long time coming. Congratulations to Councilman Aranda. Welcome. Good luck. Pay attention. And to our city manager, are you sure you want to go? You're going to jump into the hornet's nest over there. I'm telling you, I just left that city council meeting today. So good luck over there in your endeavor with the city of Hollister. Just real quick, regarding to John Freeman, not only does he talk trash, the man really knows trash. So, if you have any questions, please reach out to him because he can talk your ear off when it comes to that. Recology collects 2 large items without charge. So if you want to rid of a sofa, a chair, a refrigerator, you call them up and they come to your door. They come not to your door, they come to the street and they will pick it up. And also the John Smith landfill does not charge for mattresses. So please stop throwing them off the side of the road. They're free to get dropped off over there. And so good luck to you all. And I look forward to seeing most of you a lot this year. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other speaker cards?
No other speaker cards, but we do have one hand raised on Zoom. Christopher Barlow, you have 3 minutes.
Good evening. Thanks very much. My name is Christopher Barlow. I'm principal of Wald, Runke, and Dost Architects in Monterey. Just wanted to update you all quickly on the property at 70 Mukwalami Street. I did check in with you during the public comments, I believe back in October, and the project that we're proposing on behalf of San Benito Health Foundation is a community clinic with a affordable housing component. We've been working with the contract planners at Four Leaf to advance this project to the Planning Commission. One area where we've slowed down, unfortunately, is with the residential component. As I may have expressed back in October, the community clinic is the first phase. The second phase will be affordable housing units. Currently, our planning submittal has been deemed incomplete based on the exact configuration of the residential units. And often with these affordable projects, it takes some time to get a housing partner in place. And those housing partners often provide the details for those housing units. So I'm looking forward to working with the future city manager to see if we can work a way of phasing this approval, and look forward to certainly being involved in your wonderful community and bringing this project forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
No other speaker cards or hands raised on Zoom, Madam Mayor.
We don't have a, thank you. Thank you. The consent agenda. Does any member of the council wish to pull an item on the consent agenda?
Can we pull item 9C for further discussion?
Thank you.
We'll pull F, please.
Thank you. Any others? No, is there anybody from the community who wants to pull?
Yes, I have two speaker cards for comments on 9F.
Okay, may I have a motion to approve 9A, B, D, E, G, H, can I pull G, H, and I? Sorry. I'm not sure everybody had an opportunity to read the minutes. But we'll get back to that. Can I have a motion to approve A, B, D, E?
So moved.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. May I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Aranda,
Yes.
Councilmember Frios,
Yes.
Councilmember Morris Lopez,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia,
Yes.
and Mayor Jordan.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. 9C, an ordinance of San Juan Bautista Municipal Code adding a vacancy registration fee.
Yes, I had some further questions on that. There was reading of the ordinance. This is our second reading. There was some questions I had about, I don't think we agreed at the last city council that we were going to use it in terms of being a vacancy tax. We had said it was going to be a fee, but also there was verbiage in there about saying that we were in agreement to talk about blighted properties. And my understanding is that this is about vacant properties, not just blighted properties. It's about the 3rd Street and some of the empty business properties. So that first page or second page, first paragraph states that, goes into the definition of what is blighted. But then on the second page, it goes into a little bit more detail about different definitions. I'm sorry, I'm trying to find it here in my packet. There's a lot of stuff in here. So I don't know if anyone else here on the dais looked at that and picked up on that. And also, it doesn't really talk specifically about how we're going to determine the vacancy fees. Right now, also, we do have boarded up windows downtown, so it's in conflict to what I'm reading. I don't know if anyone else wants to discuss that.
Thank you. City manager, does this go to you?
It would be myself and the city attorney. We've discussed in the past the fees and the rate schedule. And we're doing an RFP soon to establish fees and bill schedules for all of our ordinances because we need a comprehensive broad brush. So that was the first project we gave to our planner. And as the state law dictates, they need to be relevant, there needs to be a nexus and so forth. So we're waiting for our consultant to work with us on the development of the fees for this. Okay.
That's correct.
Okay, we haven't established those yet, and they'll come forward in a.
That's correct.
Okay, so the fees will come at a later date. There was a question on boarded building or boarded up. So if this resolution passes or this ordinance passes, then code enforcement will go after boarded up buildings. My understanding of this.
That is correct.
Okay. I'm sorry, what was another one?
Oh, I just thought of something. I'm really having a hard time finding all this stuff here. So I guess it also says that there's a little bit of leeway here in terms of we do designate according to the definitions of the vacancy violation. But then there's an opportunity, I think there's like it seems like there's a 60-day, maybe 90-day by the time they appeal it, that we're actually still kind of sitting in limbo with the owners being able to appeal, waive it, fees being waived. So once again, we're in that little rabbit hole of not being specific enough and also enforcing. So that to me gives me pause as to move this forward.
I think it's kind of a balance between the rights of the city and the rights of the private property owner to cure its violations. And I think some amount of time for the property owners to cure the problem is appropriate.
Did you have any other questions on that? Okay, thank you. Did anybody else from the council have any questions on that? Councilmember Aranda?
No.
Councilmember Friels?
No.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia?
No questions.
Thank you. Thank you for the explanation. May I have a motion to approve, to adopt an ordinance adding a vacancy registration fee to the municipal code?
So moved.
Thank you. May I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Thank you. Motion made by Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia, seconded by Councilmember Aranda. May I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Aranda,
Yes.
Councilmember Frios,
Yes.
Councilmember Morris Lopez,
Abstain.
Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia,
Yes.
Mayor Jordan.
Yes, and my apologies. It's my first meeting. I forgot to go to public comment.
There's no speaker cards
or comments.
Not that it matters right now, because we already made the motion, right?
No, there's still, nobody had pulled it.
No,
you have
I'm
a
making a,
comment?
To make a
public
comment on 9C.
Yeah.
Yeah, but go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I want to speak on the way that I understand this ordinance, and I agree with Jackie, I'm a little hesitant on this. There are several vacant buildings, and I was just in Gilroy yesterday, and there are a lot of vacant buildings at the outlets. There are a lot of vacant buildings in downtown Hollister as well. The economy is not where it should be or where we want it to be locally, and to punish someone because they could not lease the property is really violating a person's property rights, if I'm understanding this correctly. Now, if you have something boarded up and we're talking that it's a hazard, then we're talking about the fire department coming in and doing an inspection, and that's completely different because there's a law on the public safety of the people. Now, having a municipal ordinance to punish someone because they cannot lease a property is an issue, if I'm understanding this correctly, and you have already voted and you have the option to pull back that vote and make sure that it is how I am understanding it. If I'm understanding it incorrectly, please correct me, but you cannot punish, you should not punish a property owner because they cannot lease something. There are buildings that have been vacant for decades. This is not a grandfathered ordinance, but if someone cannot lease a property for the next 5 years, they're going to have to go and they're going to have to get a permit because their property is vacant. I've never heard of this. So this is new to me. I've not heard this in any of the cities or the counties that I speak at. So you have your city attorney here, and I really think you're invading public property rights here.
Thank you. I had the timer. I got it. Thank you. Item F, 9F.
Yeah, I pulled it just because there was a little bit of confusion on my part, and I think I'm not the only one.
Mhm.
What I first looked at was, okay, they gave us a presentation and now they're asking for money, but I guess there's more to this. If you could explain on if there's more to this.
Sure, and I apologize for that confusion because the original intent began under the auspices of the university, say back in August. And it took us that long to put an agreement together and get it to you. So their work had already begun, but they intend to continue it through the end of the semester in May. So there's a budget attached to the staff report that talks about 24, 25. And so we are paying essentially for the salary and wages of the professor and clerical employees is the majority of that expense, plus their benefits. So that's Professor Fernandez's time on this project working with the students. So we did have the same almost exact agreement in 2019. And so we're just bringing that same agreement back. But I understand, and I'm sorry, I apologize that not all the council members were seated in 2019. So you haven't all seen it before. So I just wanted to, that was an assumption on staff's part and an oversight. We should have introduced it differently. So that's my 2 cents. And if anyone has any further questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Thank you. Councilmember Aranda.
No questions.
Thank you. Councilmember Friels.
Yeah. Get used to the rotation.
We got to get the rotation down.
Yeah, I just kind of feel like we put the cart before the horse again, and now we're over a barrel on this. They've done the work, and
There's more work to be done.
yeah, but they've already done a bunch. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. Thanks.
Thank you. Councilmember Morris Lopez.
I have to agree with Councilmember Friels. I was not aware that this was going to be a 25K bill to the city of San Juan Bautista. I thought this was maybe something that was a special project by the university, meaning that, the students pay their tuition, the university pays the professor. This is something that they're gaining, requirement for perhaps a upper division or upper grad program. So 25K is a lot. And as we heard here, they did not gather information, total engagement from the city. So, and just have to agree with, Councilmember Friels, and, yeah.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia.
Yeah, can't help feeling like we got fleeced. I had been under the impression from the time that the professor had been joining our Zoom calls that this was a school project and they were taking advantage of public access to city meetings to fulfill the project. Yeah, I don't feel great about it.
Thank you. And I had been involved in the previous round, but then saw the presentation and then the invoice, if you will, later. Confusion. We have two public speaker cards.
Yes, John Hopper and Harvey followed.
So I think some of my question was just answered. I was confused about whether this was an item to continue the work that the students were doing for next year. And then we would be compensating them and, or paying for the service, if you will. I would disagree, that, $25,000 to me sounds like a kind of a minimal amount to at least get something launched and get it moving forward. But I think what I'm wording is this item actually authorizes the city manager to pay them for work that they've already done. And there'll be some minimal work that continues into next year. Is that correct, Mr. City Manager?
Yes, it's going forward. This matter was supposed to be on the last agenda, going forward. So this is for work that has not been completed. Basically, the professor realized that the university didn't get their act together in time. And so he's proposing these costs for the next 6 months and no costs for the last 6 months.
Okay, thanks for those clarifications. I'll restate this. I do think that this whole park project is vital to the community. 30 years has been too long, so thank you.
Thank you.
Harvey?
Hello, my name's Harvey Mendez. I'm a resident of San Juan Bautista here been living here for the last 30 years. And I've been attending the seniors lunch on Wednesdays that Mary Edge has provided for the community. And I just want to say that I'm very grateful for her for doing that and stepping forward and bringing us together, us that are senior citizens here. And also this project that the students brought, I thought was very thoughtful of them to reach out to the community and to come out and to engage us in participating in this park project. This park project has been brought up years and years and years ago since I've been here. But like he said, nothing has been done about it. But I thought that they were very insightful in bringing this to the community so that we could participate in the project also. And that got me to work with them and to provide a proposed drawing for the project. And I'd like to give this copy to review it. And again, I think it's very important that you as members, council members of the community reach out to us, the residents, and so that we can engage in whatever, projects that are important to us that involve the entire community, that it's brought to our attention and that we can have our input. And I just thank you for your time, and congratulations to Mr. Aranda, and all the best of luck to Mr. Friedman in his retirement from being the city manager. And thanks again.
Thank you.
Elias Salinas?
Councilman Aranda, I'm warning you. I'm going to start coming to these meetings. This is what I do. Okay. So here's the issue, transparency. Okay. That is what is missing here. And, Councilman Friels is bringing it to the attention. Thank you for pulling it. I did not read your consent agenda item, but this is really important. And this is lacking transparency. This might be an important project, but San Juan Bautista doesn't have a lot of money. I mean, you scramble to try to make ends meet here in San Juan Bautista. And to have a project, and it's been going on for a while, and the subject of money never coming up, no contract, a contract wasn't signed. It was everything done by word of mouth and a shake of the hand and saying, did somebody, I don't know, Mr. Reynolds, did you shake a hand with them? And, let the council members know, did you shake a hand with them and said, oh, don't worry about it, we're going to pay you, without knowing what the cost is going to be? Or did you know what the cost was going to be? The council members need to have an answer. What happened and how do they find out on a consent agenda item that if nobody reads it, it doesn't get pulled and it gets approved? That's what usually happens in consent agenda items, because people don't pay attention. They're so busy with all the other items on the agenda and all the attachments that go with it. It's not just 1 page or 2 pages, 3 pages of an agenda. They get multiple pages, hundreds, sometimes, thousands of pages, depending on what the project is. And you can't come up here and expect a city council person to say, yes, I'm going to pay $25,000 or $5 for something that I was not aware of until tonight, when someone else has known for quite some time that this just didn't happen overnight. And this has been going on for a while. And I'm just boggled, literally, how money was never mentioned. And how does the college now come up and give you an invoice without a contract? And was there a contract? Was there a shake of hand? And that's something that needs to be asked by the council. Thank you.
Thank you. Any comments on Zoom? Thank you for that. Go ahead.
I've been barking about this property for quite some time. Trying to get it developed into a park, and I still want to see it happen. I'm just uncomfortable with the method that was used. I'm also uncomfortable with a contractor being part of the presentation. That was interesting. And that person or persons should fully know that if we want to do one of those solutions, we have to go to bid for it, and there's prevailing wage and everything. So they're not a shoe-in, but just thought it was more of an advertisement for ecosystems or whatever the heck the name of that company was. So I'm not comfortable with the way this worked. But I do have a question, City Manager. You have discretionary spending, right? And could you have paid for this because it's under 50,000?
Absolutely, I could have. And I do recall mentioning this in many city manager status reports, because I've spent a number of hours on it myself. This wasn't meant to be a surprise, and it's being mislabeled conveniently by someone who just read the agenda a half hour ago. This is something I've advised the council on through status reports on an ongoing basis. It's something we've done before. That's why it's on consent, because we approved it and we got great things out of the same project during our single-use plastic program. They did that whole program for us, and then they helped with green business establishment with integrated waste. This has always been a very positive thing for our city and our partnership with CSUMB. And I'm sorry if you feel like I'm trying to pull one over on you. After 5.5 years, this is the first time I've been accused of it. So there you go. I've been here long enough. Thank you.
I'm not saying that you're trying to pull one on. Don't you ever try to put words in my mouth. All I'm saying is, so correct me if I'm wrong, the last time they were paid, was a contract approved before the job or was it after?
It was before.
Okay.
And this contract wouldn't be paid until the end of the term. Well, I'm sorry, they asked for an advance upfront. So I'll fix it. I apologize.
Okay. That's all I have. Thanks.
Thank you. Well, you pulled it. Do you want to make a substitute motion? Or, may I have a motion to approve a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a research agreement with the University Corporation at Monterey Bay and participate in its Sustainable City Year program? How long do we wait before it falls to the floor? This one falls to the floor. I pulled G, H, and I. If anybody else wants to approve it, I'm fine with that. Do we have any public comment on it? Okay. May I have a motion to approve G, H, and I?
I move that we approve GH and I.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you. Motion made by Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia, seconded by Councilmember Friels. May I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Aranda,
Yes.
Councilmember Friels,
Yes.
Councilmember Morris Lopez,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia,
Yes.
and Mayor Jordan.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. I find myself at a dilemma. We have a closed session at 6:30 and we have action items and informational announcements. What's the will of the council? And we have a party to go to. And we still have closed session. Okay, so unless anybody has any objection, I'd like to push everything to our next meeting in January. Oh, sorry, we do have one. My apologies. 10B, if we can go to 10B. Well, that's a big one. Are there any objections to push A, C, and D and 11 to January 21st? May I have a motion to push?
I move that we push the items
Thank you.
mentioned.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion made by Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia, seconded by Councilmember Morris Lopez to move 10A, 10C, 10D, and 11 to our January 21st meeting. May I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Aranda,
Yes.
Councilmember Friels,
Yes.
Councilmember Morris Lopez,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia,
Yes.
and Mayor Jordan.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. 10B, appoint an interim city manager, receive a report from the ad hoc committee and make a recommendation to the city council to appoint an interim city manager. Take it away, former mayor.
You want me to take it? Okay.
Yeah.
Did you bring the questions? Well, no. Well, that's okay. We'll start. So we asked the exact same questions to 3 candidates. There was discussions from all the questions. So not every A, B, or C to number 1 was exactly the same, but the same, 9 questions, and they were all the same. And we deliberated after each each interview and then spoke after that. And we came to a conclusion, and we have asked, Ashley, can you pronounce your last name? Just Pollock, Ashley Pollock. And just as a quick background on her, she was the former assistant city manager for the city of Seaside, June 21 through July 23. She was a recreational supervisor for the city of Seaside. She's dealt with multiple boards and commissions with Seaside, and she comes to us with a master's degree, a bachelor's degree, and an associate degree. And we thought it should be a good fit for the next few months. And she's really lucky because she's got a good staff to, we felt she had a good staff to be able to lead her through that and help her get through bridge the gap, as we were calling it. So from that, I'll answer any questions.
Anybody from the council have questions on the selection process or our recommendation before we go to a vote? Councilmember Aranda?
Yeah, I have a question. Just temporarily, while this person Ashley serves as interim city manager, people skills wise, would you say she's able to communicate? Can she talk to our local merchants? If someone were to come up and want to speak to her at City Hall, is she available? How does she come off? I think that's really important here in this town. We do need to get in touch with our community and be able to make it easy on them, because that's one of the complaints I hear the most.
Mm-hmm.
We had no doubt whatsoever
None.
with her communication skills.
Yeah,
Got
that
it.
was tops on the list. Yeah,
All right, great.
yeah. Councilmember Morris Lopez?
Oh, thank you for your ad hoc committee and this person that's sitting. I met briefly. Her resume speaks volumes. It looks like she's done a lot of extra things, like she has been instrumental with the sister city relationship with Oaxaca and Oaxaca, Mexico. So I'm assuming that she speaks some Spanish. Poquito, está bien. Okay. And so yeah, very impressed. Just housekeeping, were there any other persons that were interviewed?
Yeah, sorry, we had 4 applicants. We interviewed 3.
Okay.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Impressive resume. I'm sure there were, but I'd like to have a discussion about specifically people management skills and people management experience. I saw a lot of project management skill listed on the resume, but I was curious if there were questions about that discussed in the interview and how that came up.
Yeah, I think we were pretty half and half on touchy-feely people management, project management, or third. Yeah, and
Problem solving,
mhm.
Personal problem solving. She's familiar with adverse action and building skills. I'm sure she had a handful of people, and she also managed like the youth program, so being able to talk to young folks is probably not so easy these days. Even though I can talk to you okay, but
I thought those soft skills were one of the best from the folks that we interviewed.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, no further questions.
Thank you. Questions, comments, concerns from chambers?
No speaker cards received.
Thank you. Anybody from Zoom land?
And no hands raised on Zoom, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. So without further ado,
To vote on.
yes, that's what I was asking.
real quick, I am going to pick your brain about sister cities, because there's this cool little town in Belize that we've fallen in love with. My wife and I would love it if we could do one of those things. It'd be really cool. Anyway, I'll move to.
So it's the recommendation of the ad hoc committee
Yes.
to put forth Ashley Colick as our interim city manager. So if I may have a motion,
So moved.
thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. May I have a roll call, please? Sorry.
Councilmember Aranda,
Yes.
Councilmember Frios.
Yes.
Councilmember Morris Lopez,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia,
Yes.
and Mayor Jordan.
Yes. Ashley, welcome. Come on up, have a. Make sure the green light is, or the light is lit green.
It
and
is.
Take a moment.
Hello, everyone. Hi, community. My name is Ashley Colick. You read my resume and I was super embarrassed. I sitting over there going, who is that person? I absolutely love public service and I'm super excited to work with you in your interim period. I am very open and personable. So please come see me, come say hi, come tell me about the history and the culture of your community because I really want to learn it all and I really want to get to know you and understand how I can help you during your interim period and maybe even into the future. So thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you and welcome. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So move. Oh, close the session.
To go to closed session. Are we going to close? So afterwards? Okay. May I have a motion? What? Do I have public comment on closed session? Thank you. Again, it's my first meeting. No comments?
No, hands raised and
No speaker cards. Thank you very much. Can I have a motion to close this and go to, nope, we're good. We're going to close session. Thank you all very much. We're good. Thank you very much. We are coming out of closed session. Attorney Giffen, can you please take us out?
Yes, thank you, Mayor, members of the City Council. The City Council met in closed session on items 12A through C. Conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, Orozco versus City of San Juan Bautista, California Government Code Section 54956.9 D1. The council heard from city attorney and gave direction, and there's nothing to report out. Item 12B, conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, Kurosaki versus City of San Juan Bautista et al., California Government Code Section 54956.9 D1. The City Council heard from city attorney and gave direction, and there's nothing to report out. 12C, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation. Significant exposure to litigation, California Government Code Section 54956.9 D2. There are two cases, two anticipated claims, which were both rejected by the City Council, and there's nothing else to report out.
Thank you very much. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Roll call?
Councilmember Aranda,
Yes.
Councilmember Frios.
Yes.
Councilmember Morris Lopez,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia,
Yes.
and Mayor Jordan.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you.